Hey, check this out. Today we're going to look at backups in Taikun CloudWorks, and I'm going to show you how you set them up and how you restore a backup into your project. So to get started, I'm going to come over and click on this key icon. I'm going to click on Backup Credentials. And what that's going to show me is all of my backup locations that I've set up so far, right? You can see I've already got one set up. We'll talk about that in a second, but I'm going to click on Add Credentials. And this is how you would add your backup location, how you would configure where you're going to store your backups. Now you can see it's all mentioning S3 parameters. So it's clearly indicating that an S3 bucket is the way to go. But in reality, all it has to be is something that conforms to the S3 API. So you can use something like Minio or Ceph that has S3 compatibility and set it up as your backup location. So if we close this, we can see, yep, I'm actually using a Ceph object store. Cool. So I'm going to use this one, and we'll come into our projects, right? And the way you set up backups on your projects is when you're adding your project, you pick your cloud, you set your project name, and then you come down and you toggle this backup toggle right here. And you're going to select which backup credentials you want to use. I'm using the Taikun Infra backup credentials that I just showed you. Going to store in Ceph. Cool. And then when you create your project, backups are enabled. Now, I've already got a project created called backup conveniently, and that has backups enabled. So with a project that's got backups enabled, this backup policy will highlight. We click on that and we can set up our backup policies. I've already got one. It's going to run every 10 minutes and it's going to back up the default namespace, but you can actually get pretty fine-grained with your policy. Let's click Add Backup Policy and see what our options are. So first of all, we're going to name it. You can set a retention period and a cron period. We'll look at those in a second, but you'll notice you can also set it for any namespace, right? All of these we can check or uncheck to be included or excluded from the backup. It's pretty cool. So let's look at retention period. You can go pretty far back in history with your backups, right? A year worth of backups. That's pretty cool. And then cron period, you can also get very fine-grained. There's some default settings here. Every 10 minutes, every hour, every week. You can even set it to day of the week. Or if you wanted, you could set custom personal cron period. How often do you want to set this? And you would set this using a cron string. Well, I've already got a backup configured. And you can see if I click on backups, there were already some backups that were created for me. If I go to restores, I haven't restored any backups yet, but let's fix that. Let's restore one of these backups right here. I'm going to use the one from 3 minutes ago, and it's really simple. You click Restore Backup, and all it asks you for is a name. What's the name I want to apply to this restore? That could be, this is the reason I had to restore. That could be, here's the policy that was triggered. Here's the alert that was raised. Here's the disaster that happened, right? Whatever you want to name it to let you know historically, here's why I restored. So I'm just going to say video demo, right? And it even allows me to exclude or include the namespaces that were backed up. So they were backed up, right? That was based on my configuration before, but even then I can decide whether or not to include them when I restore. Pretty handy. So I'm going to click include on the default namespace. I'm going to add, and there wasn't much in my default namespace. So this is actually going to go pretty quick. Come to restores, and there we go. It's in progress. Happened 5 seconds ago. Awesome. So that's backups. That's all there is to it. Obviously, it's very simple, and there's a lot of configuration you can add if you want.